In the venue, the intersection of the powerful and rich peoples are always unfinished, and President John gives grand ceremony tonight. Jungkook keep talking with businessmen until he senses something and as a man's intuition. He subconsciously glances around and communicates with Minho by his gaze. Has she gone back? President June, madam, wanted to use bathroom? Minho assured. Jungkook had indeed sad things on emotional factors, but in a final analysis, he just wanted to let you understand how much he attached importance to this marriage. Definitely, if you announce it, then it might harm you. But if he said it, the result will be different. No one will dare to touch his women. This concept that little girl won't understand. What's make you distract? Jimin and Taeyong came over. Let's have a dinner. They came to accompany them. Well, I have my madam to accompany me. Jungkook took a sip of wine. He likes drinking, no doubt. Long time, but you had not returned, and Jungkook didn't saw his song at all. Yewon was also left alone in the party. Jungkook asked bodyguards to check outside. Yvonne made a call to his song, but he didn't answer it. She looked around in disbelief. Did his song left her here alone? Jungkook received information from his men that you are missing. His friends asked him, President John, what happened? Jungkook put the wine glass on the side. Sorry, I will go out. He left the distinguished guests and friends at the scene and went out. Chung smiled at the surroundings. Everyone, please enjoy the party. President don't have some private matter to deal with in person. Have a good evening. With that, Jimin and Theung followed out. Bodyguards and Minho were outside the hotel when Theung came, followed by Jimin and Theung. Wine is missing. This is what we found at the corridor of venue. Minho handed over the small handbag to Jungkook. Jungkook checked the bag and there was some of your things, mobile, lipstick, card, and some cash, diamond chain given by him, and tissue paper. It was impossible for you to left your belongings here. Jungkook's eyes turned red and he stared at the security guard coldly. What are you guys doing when someone taken away the girl in my image? His fingers creaked and he was ready to punch. All the security and manager were called over and instructions them to look at the monitoring room and people are scared to face Jungkook. One mistake, they have chance to get fired. At the surveillance footage, he saw you were fainted and it was his son who picked you up and left the hotel. All the footage was collected and he looked at the direction, then asked to track each area CCTV cameras. The car's direction was followed until there was a hillside and blind footage. Jimin guessed that his song must bring you over hill forests. Theung immediately called his team and asked to go over the hill. Some bodyguards, Jungkook with his friends, car rushed out of the hotel one by one. There is terribly silence on Jungkook's face that had never been before. Why did you faint it? Did something was added on the drinks? In his territory, someone openly did this. Very good. A dangerous smile appeared on his lips. That must be wonderful if he dealt with his son in a person with his own hands. The reason that Jungkook stayed back was of the relationship between them, but he has always been wary of this man. Someone must did dirty to you and added a drug on your drinks. Jungkook knew if something happened to his son, then young Madam of Lee family will angry with him. President June, this time Madam's matter should be resolved as soon as possible. You should take it as a misunderstanding. Minho tried to explain carefully. You mean this is my fault? Jungkook smiled coldly. I shouldn't have had any reaction when I saw her kissing another man and hiding their picture. As a man, Song Minho, don't you take seriously? Minho couldn't defeat this matter. It's her fault. She didn't listen to me and ran out on her own. It's her behavior to hide the picture of her ex boyfriend. I didn't wrong her. She's not magnanimous enough to me. I hope President John will sort out this soon with Madam. Jungkook loosened his tie and take off the coat, unbuttoned few buttons on his shirt and rolled up the sleeves, revealing his tattoo and his knuckles cracked. Since he got married, he didn't wear any extra rings on finger. It was only his wedding ring. This time he will not hesitate to send his sang to the hell. Especially he make a call to Mrs. Lee. This is John Jungkook. I need to inform that his sang has kidnapped my people. Aunt should know this matter seriously. If I found him then don't think I will be gentle to him. It was his very first time talking with his aunt this rudely. You, as a little girl, and the boy older than you was supporting you. That Bambi eyes are clear and mysterious. Why pushed you forward and you finally able to pick up the apple and show your excitement? I picked it up, I did. He squealed in happiness and fall down the tree like a ball of cotton candy. Under you was a boy who tried to catch you but failed. You must be very fond and happy with that boy at that time. You were trying to learn swimming. The wave floated, one, you can do it. Boy encouraged you. Your whole body was shaking and you were so afraid that your body is sinking in and suddenly it's suffocating. Your body trembled and jerked open your eyes. You wake up from the dream but you didn't remember anything. The dream was strange and you don't remember appearance of people in the dream. You pressed your head and looked around. You're in the car. Outside was dark and full of stars. You pushed the car door, but it was locked, and you saw a figure standing, leaning against the car door. You patted on the window. Hey, let me get out. Who are you? Do you hear me? I'm locked up in the car. Your sense hit hard when you thought that you were fainted at the venue, but was locked up in the car. Someone must be up to kidnap you. What do you want? Please let me get out. I won't tell anyone. Listening to the voice, man didn't move but continued to smoke cigarettes. The area full of forest and cold breeze air was hitting on his face, but he seems enjoying this beautiful view. He remembered for the first time when he met this girl. What's your name? He sang, he said, and girl repeated after him. He sang. The pure innocence in the voice made him suddenly had a impulse to taste. Girl, see you in love with my name. He had a deep sense of obsession towards the girl and vowed to love and marry that girl in his teenage. They were from different schools, but he made sure to purpose to be his girlfriend. Girl agreed. He gave all his love to that one. Behind him was that girl who was locked up in the car. The girl who deliberately wanted him to regret his mistake, just like the time lost in those days. Cigarette tip flickered on and ashes fell on the ground. And then cigarette butt fell on the ground and he stepped on it, then unlocked the car door. Are you nuts? You almost fell and immediately grabbed the seat and looked up at the person. He sang, the name from your mouth still sounds sweet and good. He slightly shrank back, his eyes darkened. Don't you recognize that this is my car? It's one of your favorite car. Reminds you the most of the time he drove this car to pick you up. He looked around. This was the one that you used to write. In the past, you never imagined that rich family's son will pursue you to be his girlfriend, and you had dreamed about it. And of course, your dream came true. He would do anything demanded by you. Until your one started to mind you guys' business. Everything was perfect, and you guys were ready to start it a family. You raised your head and looked at him. What do you want? You were fainted and suddenly wake up inside his car. If this matter found by Jungkook, then we will definitely misunderstood you and argue with you or worse punish you. You looked around but didn't found your bag. Where's my bag? You got off the car and looked surroundings. I don't know why you brought me here, but since it's so late, I have nothing to say to you. Your tone was snobbish. You decided to walk back to the city. He sang, looked at your bag, and smiled. I heard that there was some animals in this forest, such as like snakes, lizards, tiger. It's very not likely for you to walk back safely in the dark. You stopped and clenched your hands, make faces, and turn around and immediately come back to his side. Although stars are illuminated, but it's not good for the small girl to go alone. You can't be impulsive. Safety first. You gnash your teeth and warn him. Don't you afraid of Jungkook? He won't spare you if he finds this out. He looked up at the stars. What would happen the next if he find out? His angular face was elegant and good. If you dare to do anything to me, then he will not let you go. You threaten him with Jungkook's name. Even Jungkook is angry with you. You don't believe he won't care if something happened to you. He smiles. If it were other men, then they would really be afraid of Jungkook. Why? Do you really think that I will be afraid of him? You clasped your hands tightly. You felt a little cold and you pursed your lips. Why? Jungkook won't kill me for you. First of all, he's Jungkook's real aunt's son. Even they have hostile to each other because Jungkook is always indifferent and his son blames that because of Jungkook he lost his aunt. You don't know the relationship between Joan family and Lee family, do you? He snorted. What? You looked at him. He laughed. It seems that John Jungkook didn't tell you anything about it, did he? His gaze fell on your surprised look. Of course, Jungkook usually don't talk about his family's matter and have any contact. Well, let me tell you then, he can't do anything to me because we are relatives. They totally looked strangers. They just looked two businessmen who's communicating each other. He's my aunt's son. That's why Jungkook don't fight against his son. But I wanted to say this point. Don't think that Jungkook is someone you can trust. There are a lot of things you don't know about that man. One is your ex-boyfriend and one is legal husband and both are relatives. What should you thought at this moment? What do you know about him then? You asked as you followed the agreement with Jungkook very well, and he had showed you how trustworthy was that man. Just because you married him, do you decide to believe him uncontrollably, right? His gaze locked on yours and you didn't say anything, and he sang sighed. Your feelings have changed, have not they? Do you know how I find this out? Jun Chung told me at the press conference you being married to him. You were shocked. It's impossible for him to say such a things openly as he warned you at that moment. He could tell about him being married to you, but you can't. How unfair. He turned to you and grabbed your shoulders. Why? Are not you dumb? Do you even know that June family has arranged the fiancé and he has no room to refute it? And him being secretly married to you just for the piece of paper, if he really was a sincere, then why he didn't announce it yet? Till that day, he was just playing with you. When his fiancée come back, he will eventually dump you and marry her. Your fingers clenched and you pushed him. Lee Sang, even the marriage for him was piece of paper, I still need it. You give him hateful look, at least it proves that I'm his wife, not a woman who climbed onto his bed casually. I have a clear, concise when I'm with him, and my marriage with him has a legal effect.